Alright, so here we are at the last raid boss that I'll be covering for this little guide, I guess. And that's Sterl. Um, he is going to follow a more standard attack pattern like Taro will, except instead of only hitting one leg, we're going to hit both. Um, so let's just take a quick look here. For Sterl, 800, and this is of course the solo raid. So like these stats uh, like proportionally speaking, carry over. So they'll still all be weighted the same. So his head, 160k, torso, 520k, arms, 160, legs, 160. With the way that this is all laid out, we can attack head, torso, and then either arms or legs to get the job done. For Sterl in particular, we've always been doing head, torso, and both legs. Um, and kind of like how I mentioned with Juk in the other video, depending on, and we could see it here with the arm and leg HP and values for both armor and body being identical, it is possible for us to switch between either arms or legs here. And as we see in the solo raid, we see minus 20% all arm damage, so there we want to stick with legs. But if we saw the minus 20% all leg damage, we'd want to go arms. We've done it before, and there was maybe someone missed the call out. Um, if you're uncertain and you don't see the call out, I would highly suggest just looking at the debuffs, right? Seeing whether it says like minus 20% all arm damage or leg damage, and then deciding should I attack the arms or the legs. Definitely keep that in mind. I'll always try to call out as much as I can. For Sterl, though, the torso is a definite must. Let's look at the armor values. Everything's exactly the same, 160k. But the torso has, what is that? Is that 4? No. It's a little under 4 times the health of the head, arms, and legs. It is actually, the torso has more HP than all of the other parts combined. So we want to really slam Sterl's torso. Um, what I would suggest doing for Sterl, just going back to the decks that I use, I would suggest doing a head attack. I would suggest not only doing one torso, so this would be my torso deck, but doing another torso deck, just because his torso has that much HP. Because what'll end up happening is we could wind up with a Sterl that has, you know, his whole torso still there. And so, definitely dispersing those attacks more would be a good idea. And then, of course, one limb attack for both the legs. And so that could, of course, be swapped out for armor or for body. And then naturally, we can swap out Razor Wind for Fragmentize for armor. Head, we won't really swap out anything because it's a universal. And then torso, this is also a universal as well. If you don't have Fairy Totem, then use Soulfire. But Fairy Totem scales so well that you could have like probably a level 8 at the. Does this actually? No, it doesn't go back. You honestly, a really low Fairy Totem is competitive with, like, for example, my level 17 Soulfire. If this is going up what looks like 10% every card level, and it's currently level 14, if we project that backwards, this would have to be at level 10 in order to, air quotes here, match Soulfire. So yeah, Fairy Totem would definitely be a really good torso deck idea. And so just once more, I'm going to collect these real quick. Once more to recap for Sterl, we're going to want to attack the head, torso, and both legs. Unless, of course, otherwise specified, we'll attack the arms as well. But if we get a negative debuff for Sterl on his body, will likely still hit, or on his torso will still likely hit the torso, just because he has that much. Well, actually, we would have to hit the torso because of the way Sterl's HP is. 160k, 160k, 160k. That's 480k. The guy hits 800k health. We could take out his head, arms, and legs, and we still wouldn't kill him. So we would have to hit the torso anyway. So even if he has a minus 20% torso damage, we would still want to attack the torso because it'd be physically impossible to kill him otherwise. So head, maybe I would do twice on the torso and then once on the legs. And yeah, that's it for actually all of the Titans for our raids. Like I said, keep track of the callouts. I'll be posting those. I'll post the ones for this raid here momentarily, and this will be our first big push after a couple of stages of just going around and farming. So let's hopefully pull through. Again, just watch out for the attack calls. Watch out what body parts have more damage to them. And then, of course, pick and choose what you're going to attack. Just, I guess, the biggest thing is just try to be smart about it. Make sure that you're not just loading all of your attacks onto the head. You're not loading all of the attacks on the torso. We'll make sure that we spread things out so that way we can, so that way everybody has decks to use against certain body parts. But that's everything. Let's kick some ass, guys. We can do this.